Okay, so as you know, there are three Switch models now. The Switch OLED, Nintendo Switch, but then for the third one, there's the Switch Lite. Now, obviously, this console has been out for 2 years, but I wanted to make an in-depth review since I've had a Switch Lite and I've been playing it for about a week now. So here is what I think. Now, the unboxing is no different from any other unboxing. You just got a person showing the device on the front, some information on the side, and then again on the back, the same person holding the device. Now, when you open it, there's this weird looking contraption thing holding the contents. You slide that out, and inside there's the console and a charging cable, and that's all you get because it's a Lite console and it cannot connect to an external display. So yeah, but on first impressions, I really like this thing. Even though it's made from a single sheet of plastic, it feels very sturdy and reliable. Like for me, it feels amazing because I've had to deal with stick drift on my old Switch for about a year, and because it's a new device, it feels great. However, the most annoyingest thing is that you can't play games that cannot be played in handheld mode. So Super Mario Party, Just Dance, Fitness Boxing, these are all games that cannot be played on the Switch Lite unless you fork out an additional £50 for two Joy-Cons. But then you also have to spend some more money to charge the Joy-Cons because you can't charge the Joy-Cons because you can't dock it, and you can't dock it to Switch Lite. So instead of buying a regular Switch and just playing like normal, you have to buy an additional charging grip and £50 for the two extra Joy-Cons. But anyway, now the Switch Lite is actually the exact same as an original Switch. It's got same specifications and other stuff. Another pro of the Switch Lite is because of its smaller screen and less functionality, the battery of the Switch Lite is better than the Switch version 1. The Switch Lite also feels much more comfortable in the hand, and the D-pad is also upgraded. So now you can press diagonally on the D-pad for certain games, but before you couldn't because it was just like 4 circles, but now it's a full D-pad. It's lighter and obviously more solid, and you will have less of a chance of actually breaking the rails as it's actually soldered onto the Switch, obviously, and you won't lose parts because it's a solid device. You can't get the Joy-Cons off the Switch, if you know what I'm saying. Now, this is the most important part, because most of the features are removed on the Switch Lite, there are a lot of cons. Now, this is probably one of the most important, con for me anyway. So, remember back in 2017, 2016, when that Switch Lite trailer came out, that was amazing. Everyone was there was so much hype built around it because Nintendo was making a hybrid. You could go home, you could play on your 50-inch TV like any other PS4, Xbox One. This was 2017 or 2016. And then when you needed to go out, you just take it out the dock and you start playing. And you could just continue playing in a different environment. As they said, as it shows in the trailer, you could play in the airport, but then you could also play at home on the TV. And this is one of the main reasons why the Switch was actually hyped up so much, because if you just showed us a regular console that connected to the TV, people would be like, oh, why don't you just buy a PS4? I mean, that's better. So that's why I feel like the Switch was so hyped up. But now, because of its success, I feel like Nintendo have just kind of killed that hybrid off with the new Switch. It's okay, we made enough money from our first console, let's make a cheaper variant called the Switch Lite with the main hybrid feature removed. The whole point of calling it and advertising it as the Nintendo Switch was you could switch between a TV mode and a portable mode. That's why it was called the Switch. But obviously now you can't dock it, so that whole dockable mode is just gone. There's only portable, which literally removes the point of calling it Nintendo Switch. Nintendo, you literally could have done what the PS5 did, what Sony did, where they took out the disc drive and it was £100 cheaper. You could have just taken out the game card reader, and you could have taken that out and just made it £50 cheaper, so people could actually afford it. Or maybe even £100 cheaper, but you still could have let it connect to the TV, and that would have still appealed to lots of people. But obviously, not a lot of people buy it because you can't detach the Joy-Cons, you can't connect it to the TV. So that's why I feel like one of the biggest cons ever. But also another con is that another important one is that because the joystick is actually made out of rubber, obviously it's gonna wear out over time, maybe over a few couple of months, maybe a year, and that's obviously gonna cause the Joy-Cons to drift. Now on the old Switch, what you could have done is you could have gone to Nintendo and they could have charged about £20 for a change. Maybe you could have just bought a new set of Joy-Cons and you'd be fine, about £50 spent. But because it's a Switch Lite, either you can get it replaced, which will take a while, or you're gonna have to replace the whole console, which is gonna cost you a lot of money. So yeah. And also you're gonna have to replace the whole unit. Now, overall, I actually really like the device. And if you're a person who loves handheld consoles, you love being able to play games anywhere, then the Switch is obviously for you. However, if you actually can't afford it, I would recommend scouring sites like eBay, third-party sites. I can't really think of any others, Gumtree. You get a good discount, and then you can buy games and stuff, and you won't have to pay £250 or however much you want to buy for the games. Because if you actually don't know, another reason why Nintendo Switch games are so expensive is cartridges actually cost more to produce. So you could have like a game with 100 gigabytes of data that costs you about £10 to make or produce or something like that. But a cartridge with the same amount of data could cost you about, I don't know, like £50 to source. So that's why like games are so expensive on the Switch, like physical games. That's why they are so expensive, because they are in such a small form factor. It's obviously going to cost a lot of money to get that amount of data squeezed into just one tiny cartridge instead of having it all spread across the disc. But anyway, if you don't play games that require an external display and you don't really play with friends on a Switch, then look for great deals on a Switch Lite, and you can save lots of money in the process. And obviously you can spend that money, like I said, on games or on another device. Maybe, some more Joy-Cons extra, whatever. Anyway, this was a great device to review and a great device in general. So look forward to a review about a PS4 and if you should buy it. Sorry, if you should upgrade to a PS5. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video, and goodbye.